What's going on, people? Welcome to Toronto Hoop Talk. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the Summer League roster. Who's on it and why are they important? We're going to start with Delano Banton. Why is he important? Because he's on the Raptors. There's a very high likelihood he's going to be on the team next year, and he's a player that really fits what we're trying to do from a size and wingspan perspective. However, he wasn't a part of the rotation last year, and he's going to look to be making the rotation this year. Now, Delano Banton's going to have a huge role on the Raptors Summer League team the same way he has a huge role on the Raptors 905, but he will not have a huge role on the Raptors. So how dominant he is or how not dominant he is, that's not really what I'm concerned with because it doesn't translate to being a Raptor. What I want to see is how that shot falls. I want to see that shot falling. I want to see him hit some threes. That's what's going to translate to his NBA role and actually playing on the Raptors. The next player we'll look at is Christian Colo. Why is he important? Because he was our second round pick this year, our only draft pick, and he's really unique from a size perspective. He's the only player on the team that's taller than 6'10". In terms of what I'm interested in seeing, reasonably, I could say everything because he's a rookie and I've never seen him play before. However, the thing I'm most interested in is schematically how he plays defense. His scouting report seems to suggest he's a drop defender that has upside as a player that can switch on the perimeter. So that's what I want to see. In screen situations, how often is he a drop defender? How often does he come out and switch? How does he fare in both situations? That's really what I want to see from him. Now, the next player we're going to look at is David Johnson. Why is he important? Because he was a second round pick in the year that Scottie and Delano were drafted, and we didn't get to see him a whole ton of a lot. He's a player that was on a two-way deal last year, but he didn't get to play a whole ton of a lot with the 905. He had COVID, he had some injuries, he was in and out of the lineup. He's as young as Scottie Barnes. They're born in the same year, so he's a player that should have some development ahead of him, and he's a player we haven't seen a lot of. What do I want to see from him? I want to see a role. I want to be able to watch David Johnson and figure the kind of role he could grow into on the Raptors. I haven't seen much of this guy, and from what I've heard of his time at the Raptors 905, he didn't get an opportunity to really show who he is. So I want to get a good feel for the kind of player he is and the kind of bench player he could maybe be in 2 to 3 years. The next player we're going to look at is Justin Champagnie. Now, why is he important? Because he was on the Raptors last year. He played some minutes here and there. He showed some promise in the minutes that he did play for the Raptors, and when he played with the 905, he showed quite a bit of promise. Now, he's not under contract for next year, but he's on our Summer League team, which suggests that he's under contention for getting a roster spot next year. Now, what do I want to see from Champagnie? I want to see his shot fall. He's a player that has upside in terms of growing into a 3-and-D kind of a player. Now, in terms of effort and defensive ability, things like rebounding, those are things he's shown enough upside with. We just need to see that three-point shot fall more. He had some really good games for the Raptors 905 last year, and I'd love to see him have a stellar summer league in terms of three-point shooting. The next player we're going to look at is DJ Wilson. Now, why is he important? Because he signed 3 10-day deals last year, and somehow, some way, it just never managed to work out in terms of him getting an opportunity because he only got 54 minutes out of the 3 10-day deals. The guy just got a contract today to be a part of the Raptors during training camp, so he has another chance to make the roster, another chance to make minutes. This is a guy who signed 4 contracts with the Raptors in the last 9 months, so clearly the front office has their eyes on him. What do I want to see from DJ Wilson? I want to see impact plays. I want to see hustle. I want to see grit. I want to see him playing hard. Why? Because I don't know if this guy has upside in terms of being a super skilled, super on-the-ball kind of a player in the NBA. If this guy is going to be in the NBA, it's going to be as a hustle player. So really what I want to see from him is show me that you're a bigger Rondae Hollis Jefferson. Like, the guy's 6'10", 7'3" wingspan, 230. He's a big guy. And if we could see him come in and just hustle hard, make a ton of plays, and just impact the game like a Rondae Hollis Jefferson, maybe he has a role as that kind of a player with more size. The next player we're going to look at is Harper Jr. And why is he important? Because he signed a 2-way deal with the Raptors for this upcoming season. So we're going to see a little bit of him on the Raptors and a lot of him on the Raptors 905. This guy's going to get an opportunity. He was undrafted last year, but he's got NBA pedigree. His dad was a 5-time NBA champion with the Bulls. And clearly this is a guy that looks like he fits the Raptors mold from a size perspective, because even though he's not particularly tall, I believe he's only 6'4", 6'5", the guy's got a 7'1" wingspan. Now, what do I want to see from him? I want to see him hit threes, but it's not in the same way I want to see other players on the team hit threes. There's other players on the roster who in the past haven't been the strongest three-point shooters, and you want to see growth from them. Harper Jr. is not that. Harper Jr. has really solid three-point shooting stats in college. So what I want to see is I want to see how he shoots threes. I want to see, is he a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter? Can he shoot the threes off the dribble? Does he need to be open? Can he contest threes? I want to understand what kind of three-point shooter he is so that I can better envision the kind of role he could have in the NBA. This is a guy who clearly has 3-and-D upside as a big, physical, strong player with a good wingspan. So I just want to have a better understanding of what that would look like in terms of the kind of threes he makes. Last but not least, we're going to look at Armani Brooks. Why is he important? Because he's on the Raptors next year. He has a non-guaranteed salary, so it's not guaranteed that he makes the team, but he's going to be in training camp with a shot to make the roster next year, and we've seen him play last year. Not only have we seen him play, we've seen him play big minutes. We've seen him damn near close out games against Philadelphia and hit big threes in the fourth quarter. In terms of what I want to see from him, I just want to see the rest of his game. Armani Brooks is a guy who has a very good track record with shooting the three, and that's just going to have to be a part of his game. I don't really care how he shoots, because the reality is whether he shoots good or he shoots bad, shooting the three is going to have to be a part of his game going forward. What I want to see is there any upside aside from three-point shooting? Could he get to the basket a little bit? Can he hit the mid-range at all? Can he get to the free throw line? Does he have a floater? All these little things that could be added to his game. I want to see if there's any upside in any of those areas. So those are the guys I'm going to have my eyes on. Now, obviously, there's a whole roster of other players that I haven't mentioned, and look, maybe we're going to see somebody break out, but these aren't guys I'm familiar with, and I'm not sure if the Raptors look at them as long-term targets. But if there's anyone I've missed that you're particularly interested in, drop it in the comments. So I'm going to be watching the games, and I'm going to be back on the channel some point afterwards talking through my observations, so make sure you guys come back and check out the game recaps. I'll see you guys later. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments, and find me on all socials at TorontoHoopTalk.